reasons aren't for what you normally hear, like I want to travel, I want to do this, I want to do that. Our big concern was, what if we have a fucking ugly kid? Right? Like, we're on social media now, right? Like, we'll be on Facebook, we'll be scrolling, and maybe 1 out of every 5 or 6 pictures of our friends' kids might not be the most savory-looking little guy or girl. But you still give it the regular like instead of the heart emoji like, because you want to be sort of honest about it, right? But the night where I changed my mind, I was actually up really late. I got home from a show at like 2 a.m. I was trying to scroll through the channels just to get tired to go to sleep. And I stumbled across one of those Sam Bernstein law firm commercials. And I thought to myself, I said, you know what? If we do have a kid, when they do grow up, they can't possibly get any uglier than his fucking kids. Think about it, they're the first family of law, right? Like they're doing very well for themselves despite the shit those kids probably had to go through growing up, right? Like they'll be shooting a commercial, the camera will be right here, but Richard Bernstein's off in the corner going, "Hi, I'm Richard Bernstein." And then you got Beth Bernstein, who's actually pretty hot, but she's got that one eye that just shoots off to the left and spins the whole time she's talking. I don't know what the fuck that's all about. But my biggest question, I should take that back, my biggest concern with the Bernstein family is actually with the dad, Sam, the guy that built that law firm from the ground up and made it what it is today. He's a pretty normal looking little old guy, right? Who the hell is he fucking to get those kids? God damn it. Speaking of kids, I think kids nowadays, they're pretty lucky. Can we all agree on that? Kids are pretty lucky nowadays. And I agree with that too, but for reasons that you guys probably don't think of, like for instance, the reason I think kids are lucky nowadays, 3 words, jerk off material. 100% jerk it. Think about it. Kids nowadays, they're going through puberty during the era of online porn, the Pornhub era, right? Like we didn't have Pornhub growing up, you know what I mean? So for them, I think it's like, for instance, there's some kid, I promise you, he got home from school today here in Bay City. And you know what, he was like, you know what, I got one locked and loaded in the chamber right now. And I got about 10 minutes before the next person gets home from work or school. And the only thing that's gonna get me across the finish line on this particular day is maybe watching a silverback gorilla mount a flight attendant as they jerk off a Spirit Airlines pilot. Then they land into Flint Bishop. Like you can probably find that shit, right? Like you might have to dig a little bit, but you can probably find it. Like you go to Pornhub, they have like 30,000 subgenre categories to choose from, right? They got all the normal stuff, like if you're into Alaskan crab fisherwomen, they have that. If you're into jerk-off instructional videos, they have that. They have my favorite category, because I'm into thicker women. BBW stands for Big Beautiful Women. That's my favorite Pornhub category. And one day, I was perusing porn. I'm looking for a new category to choose from. I wanted a little variety in my life at this point, guys. So I was looking for a new category. And I stumbled across one that looked and sounded very similar to BBW, but it was one letter off. It was slightly different. It was BBC. Now I can see some confused faces out there kind of in the back. And a lot of you guys are going, BBC, Dustin, isn't that British news network over in England? No! Guys, BBC stands for Big Black Cock. I clicked on one BBC video once for 2 seconds and got the hell out of there, but guys, the damage was done, okay? And I don't know if you guys know this, but Pornhub has the same algorithm as Netflix does, and they have a suggested for you category. Based on shit that you've clicked on and viewed in the past. And since I clicked on one BBC video once for like 3 seconds, the only thing that pops up in my suggested feed now are penises the size of Pringle cans that are darker than night. They all have that snaky looking vein that goes from the bottom They all look like a goddamn dragon out of Game of Thrones. Thing probably even comes fire. I don't know. I digress.